What up, y'all? It's your man, Abuamerican. So, PayPal. I don't know if you guys know about these guys. These guys are pretty dodgy. Um, I don't like them. They banned me from the platform. They basically just bought my account. I can't close my account. They have all my private data, my bank data, my cards, all this type of stuff. I can't close the account and I can't use the account. But they're just keeping my data there like in limbo. I contacted them. They don't do anything. It's a real dodgy company. But if you don't trust me, now check this out. PayPal has now decided that they are going to fine users $2,500 for publishing misinformation. Now, according to Daily Wire, this got reversed, but this was a real thing, and this was very recent. It was 2 days ago. If you didn't hear about it, let me go ahead and read this article to you. But I just saw that it apparently has been reversed, so we'll cover that article also. New PayPal policy, and this comes from Daily Wire. You can find this all over the internet. I saw RT, but apparently that would be misinformation from the Russians if I used their news site. So we'll go with Daily Wire. New PayPal policy lets company pull $2,500 from users' accounts if they promote misinformation. A new policy update from PayPal will permit the firm to sanction users who advance purported misinformation or present risks to users' well-being, with fines up to $2,500 per offense. So if you post some memes, 5 or 6 memes, and they consider that to be, a risk to users' well-beings, because maybe you talk about like a particular type of people who think they're one gender and they're actually another the next day, they could say you're harming people's well-being and you're getting fined $2,500 for each meme you posted. The financial service company, which has repeatedly deplatformed organizations and individual commenters for their political views, will expand its existing list of prohibited activities as of November 3rd. Among the changes are prohibitions on sending, posting, or publication of any messages, content, or materials that promote misinformation or present a risk to user safety or well-being. Users are also barred from the promotion of hate, violence, racial, or other forms of intolerance that are discriminatory. Now, this is actually kind of problematic because I posted some Germans just reading literal statistics on a particular illness not recently, but I mean this year. And I got a strike against my channel for it. Now those very statistics are all of a sudden like accepted as, yeah, well, it's right. It's actually not worse than the flu. But that's literally what they were saying in those statistics, which to this day have not been proven to be incorrect, but it was deemed as medical misinformation on my channel. So what happens now? Now, I could take offense, go back to YouTube, do yet another appeal. Although, they say I can't do another appeal on it. But let's just say I could. I can say, hey, look, this information is not considered correct, even though it was always correct and it was provable correct. Take that strike off my channel. Can you do that with PayPal? If you post something that's misinformation, but it turns out to be true later, do they give you your money back? Do you get a refund? It just sets a really dangerous precedent. It's basically just saying, if there's a mainstream narrative and you fall out of line with it, we're going to fine you. And this gets a little bit creepier. I'm going to get into it at the end. But let's continue with the article. The company's current acceptable use policy does not mention such activities. The Daily Wire reached out to PayPal for definitions of the added terms, although no response was received by the time of publication. And then it says here, related PayPal reverse plan. So I'm going to read that article too. But I want to talk about this. It still sets a dangerous precedent, even though they turned it around, and you should not trust PayPal because these guys are just real fickle. The policy applies to action taken using PayPal's platform. Deliberations will now. Some of you might think, okay, I don't use PayPal's platform, that's fair. Like it was connected for me, it was connected to Abuamerican, and so you know, they just said they don't like me. That's basically what the email when they closed my PayPal account. That's what it basically said. We don't like you, Abuamerican, and so we're closing your PayPal account. Alhamdulillah, I always pull my money out of there because I've heard nothing but horror stories about that company. So I never kept money in there. I always immediately transferred it to my Revolut or my Wise. Never kept any money in there. So when they tried to get me, there was nothing in there. And they still got like 13 cents or some crap in there. But whatever. Continuing, deliberations will be made at the sole discretion of PayPal and may be subject to subject the user to damages, including the removal of $2,500 debited directly from your PayPal account per offense. The company's user agreement contains a provision in which account holders acknowledge that the figure is presently a reasonable minimum estimate of PayPal's actual damages due to the administrative cost of tracking violations and damage to the company's reputation. Now, here's the part that I say is creepy, because anybody who knows that uses PayPal, you can connect your bank account. And generally, it's like that. It's connected to a bank account or some sort of card. Well, what's to prevent them from like pulling money out of your bank or your card, for these offenses? I know it says from your PayPal account, but again, they're being really vague on all of this stuff. So why do you think they would be clear here? Don't trust these guys. Under existing law, PayPal has the ability to, as a private company, to implement this type of viewpoint discriminatory policy. Aaron Terr, a senior program officer at the Foundation for Individual Rights and Expression, explained to the Daily Wire, whatever motivation PayPal has for establishing these vague new categories of prohibited expression, they will almost certainly have a severe chilling effect on user speech, which is the idea if you ask Abuamerican. It's a way to, scare people into line and not like opposing, popular narratives out there in the world that they want pushed as a society in general. And we know society in general is being pushed in a particular direction, that generally society doesn't even want or is interested in. But because they have no other means than control and dominance over social media to actually, force people into line. And into line just means silence. So that the only voices are speaking are the voices that they want heard. Here you go. As is often the case with ill-defined and viewpoint discriminatory speech codes, those with unpopular or minority viewpoints will likely bear the brunt of these restrictions. The move comes days after PayPal canceled 3 accounts linked to Toby Young, a commentator who runs a nonprofit called Free Speech Union. The organization has defended clients such as actor and comedian Russell Brand, who recently moved his show from YouTube to Rumble in reaction to censorship from the former platform. And I made a video about this. I was telling content creators, Muslim ones in specific, to start backing up your channels to Rumble and Odyssey. It's an absolute must. You do this. You have to do this because we're Muslims and we don't have our beliefs are not popular. Our beliefs on the alphabet people, not popular. What should be done with them according to Islamic belief? And so if you're not willing to like pansy soft eyes the deen, make it all soft and touchy-feely for these people, guess what's going to happen eventually? You're going to get banned for speaking the truth about Islam and what Islam is and how Islam and the truth about Islam, which is, we have some pretty severe and harsh punishments. We have some very restrictive and not so modern mentality friendly ideas and rules. So if you're not going to be that guy, then guess what? You're most likely going to get banned eventually. So start just looking at a different platform, an alternative to these guys, because these guys are really just They're terrible. Anyway, the move comes days after PayPal canceled 3 accounts. Oh, sorry, yeah. So let me keep on going. Roughly 1/3 of Free Speech Union members rely on PayPal to process their membership dues. Although the company gave no explanation to Young for the suspension beyond mentioning a breach of the acceptable use policy, PayPal later restored the accounts after receiving criticism from lawmakers and apologizing to Young for any inconvenience caused, according to a report from the Telegraph. So politicians actually had to get involved. They had the guy go all the way up the ladder to politics to get this guy, to get his account back. Nobody's going to do that for Abuamerican. I can tell you that right now. Platforms such as Amazon, Twitter, and Facebook have formally censored conservatives and others who subscribe to heterodox positions on controversial social issues, including transgenderism, homosexuality, and the like. GoFundMe sees millions in funds raised for trucker protests in Canada earlier this year, while Google recently began suppressing search results for crisis pregnancy centers. These kinds of policies are unwise, threaten free speech, and invite legal risk. Jeremy something, Vice President of Corporate Engagement at Alliance Defending Freedom, told the Daily Wire. When companies apply policies to restrict the religious speech of their customers, they could run afoul of prohibitions on religious discrimination that exist in many state and federal laws. PayPal has also sanctioned gays against groomers. Okay, wait. My brain has to catch up to that. PayPal has also sanctioned Gays Against Groomers, a group that opposes the sexualization of children, as well as evolutionary biologist Colin Wright and journalist Ian Miles Cheong. Why would they sanction a group that opposes the sexualization of children? You see what I'm saying, guys? Here, just get off these platforms, man. Don't be messing with these dudes. These dudes, they're just dodgy, man. There's a modern narrative to bring in the sexualization of children. Children, not adults, not even adults by Islamic standards, which is bulugh. I think it is. Is it bulugh? Menstruation, is that the right word? Am I using right? Maybe I'm wrong. So yeah, whatever. Hey, that's a shocker right there. I'm reading this article real time with you guys, so I'm kind of like in shock.
Menstruation is fight.
I don't know. There's an Arabic word for it. I forgot it. It's the religious term. I forgot it. The company featured a rainbow-colored banner on its social media platforms during the month of June, affirming that the platform is open for all, and PayPal UK is still sports the banner. Whatever PayPal's intentions may be, censorship and chilling free speech is precisely the effect of these kind of vaguely worded policies. Tedesco added. We've seen social media companies use similar policies to stifle free speech on their platforms. We can expect a similar outcome with PayPal. So now, Daily Wire going on, they posted a second article stating that PayPal reversed its plan to fine users $2,500 for misinformation after Daily Wire's report. So this came out actually the same day. Huh. Interesting. But anyway, this is just making its rounds on Twitter right now. So I'm just reporting it right now. I wouldn't trust these guys. I mean, this is just my humble estimation. This is my humble opinion, excuse me, not my estimation. My humble estimation would be that these guys are going to do dodgy stuff just in the background. They got caught out open and expecting nobody to read the terms of services and then put it out there. This is what I believe. And then when someone actually did, because alhamdulillah for internet geeks who read this stuff, they got caught out. And so, like the article starts off, it says a red-faced PayPal walked back a shocking new policy announcement that users who advance misinformation could face fines of $2,500 per offense, saying it was all a mistake after the Daily Wire called attention to the chilling scheme. I don't think it was just Daily Wire. I mean, this is all over Twitter. This is all over the internet. I mean, this is like a big deal. I haven't seen any YouTube videos about it, but I mean, this turned into a pretty big thing. So I don't think it's just the Daily Wire, although maybe the Daily Wire was one of the first companies to actually, media companies to actually contact them and ask them about it. The financial services company, which has repeatedly deplatformed organizations and individual commenters for their political views, announced Saturday, one day after the Daily Wire story broke, that the announcement went out in error. How would, this is like strange. This is a pretty big thing. I mean, this is literally a policy change. So this should tell you that they shouldn't be trusted, because now they're saying a policy change was sent out in error. How did you do that? How is this a thing? Do you send out entire policy errors? I mean, excuse me, policy, whatchamacallit, policy changes in error. It's a literal policy change. This is not like something that's done on accident, but hey, that's just my opinion. An acceptable use policy notice recently went out in an error that included incorrect information. They're going to find themselves for sending out misinformation. A PayPal spokesperson said PayPal is not finding people for misinformation, and this language is never intended to be inserted into our policy. We're sorry for the confusion that this has caused. And then they just show a tweet here from Candace Owen: just moved all my money I had in PayPal account out of it. And I very must suggest you do the same. This is serious. They're delaying the transfer pending review for 12 hours, but at least it's done. So anyway, keep going. And there's a lot of tweets of people just closing their accounts, because this announcement, this policy change announcement right here, the one, so they had their policy change announced, and now this is a new announcement. This new announcement, it's not making rounds. The original announcement said PayPal would expand its existing list of prohibited activities on November 3rd. Among the changes were prohibitions. Guys, it's like 2 in the morning. You gotta excuse me. On using the platform for sending, posting, or publication of any messages, content, or materials that promote misinformation or present a risk to user safety or well-being. And this basically just seems like it's a repeat of like what they were talking about. Let me just see if there's any new information here. But really, it's just saying that they retracted it. Announcement reversal. Okay, so going on. The announcement reversal comes days after PayPal canceled 3 accounts linked to, no, that's not anything. PayPal has also sanctioned. Yeah. So basically, then what they did was they took the other article and they just copy and pasted the rest of it here. But basically, the beginning of the article is just saying that PayPal reversed their decision, apparently. But nonetheless, guys, I wouldn't trust these guys. I mean, they're sitting here trying to tell us that an entire policy change and an announcement was an accident or wasn't intended or whatever else. I mean, come on, guys, are we stupid here? This is like an entire thing that's like, this is an entire company that has like an entire legal team. And I know people who've worked on a legal team for PayPal. So this is kind of like, how does this get past lawyers, editors, this one, that one? It's just a whole bucket ton of people are closing their accounts now. You can see it on Twitter. And they understood that this was a really, really bad business move. And I don't think they expected that to go this way. Don't trust those guys. I would say find something else. I've been struggling to find a new payment processor, because the reality is what they do well. They know it. And that's why they're so widespread. That's why they're so popular. And so they're trying to just leverage that as if, they've got a walled garden market, like you have nowhere else to go. But with more and more moves like this happening, there's going to be more and more opportunities for other companies that are probably out there already to like rise up and shine and then come out and be an alternative to just these guys who are out here just doing crazy stuff like this. Be careful out there, guys. If you have PayPal, remember these guys are dangerous. At any given moment, whether you're a content creator or not, they can just seize your funds. And they do that to this day. They just seize people's funds. It's nothing even related to this. This is something that they're known for. You transfer some money and they say it's suspicious, and then your money is just on hold forever. So just be careful and wary of these guys. Thought you guys should know that. Your man, Abuamerican, I'm out.